All right, peace, peace, peace. This is your brother, BroYosef, and I'm back with another video. Peace to the family, peace to the tribe, peace to everybody watching. So it's been about what, 3 weeks now? 3 weeks since I did a video, and I'm happy to be back, family. I've been studying some next level information. Well, I don't want to. I want to say some information that I think is good for this time. I'll say that. I've been studying that information because the information I'm talking about, family, is information that I talked about a long time, that I studied a long time ago. But I end up putting it away and getting into spirituality on a deeper level. And then later on, I came back and found out that this is all intertwined together. But it wasn't time to talk about that type of stuff. So if you guys go throughout my videos throughout the past 4 years I've been on YouTube, you guys will notice that I never really talked about extraterrestrials that much. I think I did maybe a video or two. I talked about them here and there. I never did a whole video just talking about extraterrestrials. I don't think so. Maybe one video, right? Now, on my Patreon channel, I'm always doing videos on secret organizations, extraterrestrial, stuff like that. Because people will like that type of information. So if you guys want more of that information, you can follow me on Patreon. But I really feel like right now is a time to really start getting deeper into this extraterrestrial information. Like I said, I've talked about it here and there. I've even talked about us interfacing with extraterrestrials very soon. I talked about that in the past. I said somewhere within, these next few years, we're going to be interfacing with extraterrestrials. I talked about that. And, a lot of that stuff has been coming true, right? A lot of things I talked about has been coming true. And, the reason why lately I have been doing a lot of videos, one of the reasons, because I like to test what I talk about, right? I like to see if what the spirit been telling me is really happening, really coming true, really coming forth, right? I like to see if that's happening, family. So my last video, I talked about the rise of the matriarch energy. Y'all see. Y'all see what's been going on, right? I talked about that. A week later, Roe vs. Wade hit heavy, right? Roe vs. Wade hit. The brother Kevin Samuels passed away. I'm not going to say whether or not that was matriarch energy. I don't want to start nothing. I don't want to start nothing with Brother Kevin Samuels because there's been enough negativity on that topic alone. But, he never did nothing for me, didn't do nothing to me. So I'm kind of neutral when it comes to Kevin Samuels, right? But at the end of the day, family, a lot has been going down. Tornadoes, crazy tornadoes hit the Midwest. All kind of stuff been happening, right? And then this blood moon, it really turned up. Shootings, people dying. They turned the hydrogen collider back on. Shout out to my bro Kevin. My bro Kevin. He pretty much let me know. I'm trying to think of his Instagram name. I can't think of it, but I can't think of his Instagram name. My bro Kev let me pretty much know that they turned back on the hydrogen collider. They turned that back on. So a lot has been happening, family. And of course, y'all heard upstate New York, they had a mass shooting up here near me, where this white kid came and shot 10 black people in the parking lot, all because he felt like the white race was dying out and other races were going to take over. The black race was going to take over and stuff like that, was outpopulating them. And, because of hate is really fear. Fear is really ignorance. This young boy went ahead and killed a bunch of black people. And it really broke my heart because he killed an old black lady. I hate when people mess with children or old people. I can't stand that, man, And old lady minding her business, she get shot, she get murdered right in the parking lot, right? So, what I do is I try to focus on that. It's crazy going on Instagram, watching all these people constantly putting a video up over and over and over and over and over and over, getting people angry, right? Racism is based on fear. You really fear the other race. That's why you're racist towards them. And that boy pretty much proved it. And then the fear is based on ignorance. So y'all always know I don't really talk about good and evil. I don't really say I believe in good and evil, but if there is anything that is evil, it is ignorance. Ignorance is the closest thing to evil, okay? So I kind of want to talk about the 4 root races and the rise of the star nations. I want to talk about that because it's time to go deeper into some different type of information, right? Actually, to me, this information is old because when I first got into metaphysics, I studied extraterrestrials, different constellations, different star systems, and then I went on to the Egyptian magical system, mythology, voodoo, hoodoo, different spiritual sciences. And then I studied sacred geometry. I studied so many different things, right? And I never came back to the extraterrestrial stuff, even though I was having experiences with extraterrestrials. I felt like it wasn't time to talk about it. But we're going to start talking about some of that stuff because there's a lot that's going on right now. And I believe that we are ascending to be with the Star Nations family, okay? So I want to talk to you guys about that and why there's so much chaos on the planet right now, right? And there's so much chaos on the planet. Let me say something else. I don't like it when people get on my videos and they say, well, the video starts at this point. Don't tell people that because you're missing all the other stuff I'm talking about, which is very important. I'm trying to get people to think. The people that do that, they don't here for entertainment, right? BroYosef is not here to entertain anybody. I'm here to teach. I'm here to make you guys really think, right? I'm really here to make you think so you can really use your mind and think on a deeper level and make you ponder some things. That's what I'm here to do. So I don't like it when people say, well, go to 3 minutes and 45 seconds in the video, and that's when he started talking and stuff. No, you got to get it all, family, because I'm here to make you ponder and think about things, right? I'm not here so you can follow me. I don't want people to follow me. I want people to think for themselves. I'm just sharing some information that I came across, and I want you to think, family, okay? I want you to really think about what I'm saying, and then do the research, right? Do the research. On my Patreon, y'all heard me say in my soulmate video that there's a secret government organization that actually watches Twin Flames. And I talked about that organization in my Patreon videos. You know what I'm saying? So I don't just make stuff up. I don't know how to do that. I just talk from what I researched, studied, and experienced. All right? That's what I'm coming from, family. So, yes, the solar eclipse was crazy energy. The mother energy, even in Doctor Strange movie had that mother energy, that Lilith destructive energy in it, very powerful. And then it's blood moon. A lot of blood was shed on Saturday. They had mass shootings actually around the country, right? So once again, I'm trying to get you guys to think that lunar blood moon, chaos brings order. That's a fact. So it's been a lot of chaos on the planet, especially this year. And the lunar eclipse always brings great change. Great change, family. So we're dealing with this great change that's happening on the planet, just like I told y'all. And the Great Mother is pushing all this, right? And you can look at the Great Mother as dark or light, because she's both, right? Everything is the Great Mother, all right? But she's here to do what she got to do, okay? So I want you guys to understand that there's a very ancient symbol. Some people think it belongs to Native Americans, particularly, but you can actually go back and look at the Olmecs had this symbol. Even the Olmecs had this symbol. It's called the medicine wheel, okay? The Olmecs even had the medicine wheel, family. This is a fact, with the same colors and everything. Some people may look at it as the solar cross. It's a lot of ways you can look at the medicine wheel. But I want you guys to understand that the medicine wheel itself, family, is a very ancient symbol, right? Especially with the colors on it. It's a very ancient symbol. And the symbol itself is from Pleiades. It's a very ancient Pleiadian symbol, okay? And Pleiadians got two sides. Some of the Pleiadians are here to hurt us. There's another half of the Pleiadians that's here to help us, right? So it's two sides to the Pleiadians. And that's one thing you got to understand about a lot of extraterrestrial groups. They're not all the same. I've talked about many times about how some of the Anunnaki don't like us. They don't like Inky's creation or the creation. And some Anunnaki, follow orders. They rock with us, whatever, right? Then you have some reptilians that hate us, which is the majority, and then some that don't hate us. They're more peaceful, they're more spiritual, right? And that goes with a lot of these different groups, okay? So the medicine wheel family in itself, I want you guys to understand, is a very ancient, powerful ancient symbol and has many meanings to it. And depending on what planet you are, it kind of means different things, but it represents one major thing for all people. Okay, it represents the symbol of peace, but it also represents the symbol of the 5 races. On here on Earth, it represents the symbol of the 5 races, okay? And what do I mean by the 5 races? Rudolf Steiner called it the four root races. Okay, but there's also a fifth race in there. I'm gonna get into that in a second, right? So the four root races will be the white race, the black race, the red race, the red race and the yellow race, right? So in ancient indigenous teachings, they'll say that the white race controls fire, and they forgot how to control fire. They forgot to be responsible with their fire, right? So the white race is the youngest race in the universe, okay? And the white race family controls the fire element. So you can be destructive, which they have been mostly in their time. You can be destructive with the fire, or you can take the fire, you can shape and mold things. You can purify things with fire, right? It all depends on how you use fire. But since they're young, they always use the fire destructively, okay? So that's what fire represents. The black race, of course, is water, which goes more into spirituality, right? Have black people spiritual right now? No, we lost. So we forgot to be responsible for our spirit, for the spirituality on the earth. We forgot, right? We forgot to learn. We forgot to be responsible for water, which is spirit. So the majority of black people on the planet today are lost. We done lost our way of how to deal with the spirit. We're responsible for it. We're the race that's responsible for bringing the spirituality to the planet. That's just a fact, right? Then you have the yellow race, which is the race that deals with air and intellect, right? And we still know Asians today to be smart, a group of people, but they have not been using their intellect for the right reasons. It's more been for communism and control and stuff like that. So they not have been spreading the knowledge and information the way the intellect the way it should be used, right? They're supposed to be a naturally telepathic group of people too. They have not been using that correctly, so they have not been responsible for their air element. The air element with the Asians have not been responsible with their air element. Okay, so then you have the red race, which is earth element. Okay, they're supposed to be the earth people, and some people even go deeper and say, well, each one of these people were given a book. Right, we'll get into that another time. So the red race is responsible for earth, and American Indians lost the land. Y'all see how this stuff is making sense? Like the American Indians don't have the land, so they have lost, and they don't know how to respect the land like they once did. Some of them now they do have groups of American Indians that live on the land, but the original, there was more than what you call redskin. Today we describe them as the red race, right? But we know the majority of American Indians today are not red skin at all. They're mostly look more of a European. And then there's different types of what you call American Indians. There's even copper colored American Indians, right? Which are the oldest group of American Indians, right? And none of those groups none of them remember how to tend to the land or how to keep the land. So they have lost the responsibility for Earth. Okay, the red race. All right. So between all four races, family, let's be honest, there's been a lot of racism, right? American Indians hate the white man. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I was watching a show called Reservation Dogs, and all they talked about is how much they hate the white man on there. It was crazy, right? But you seen American Indians, so-called American Indians, and blacks and so-called blacks and stuff like that all living in harmony on a reservation. It was crazy, right? And there was even scenes in there where the kids was having interactions with their ancestors and stuff. It's called Reservation Dogs. It's kind of a goofy comedy type of show, but it had a lot of dope meanings to it. It was real dope, right? Took place in Oklahoma. So with that being said, family, they forgot to do that, right? So there's been a lot of racism between us. The Indians don't like the white man don't like the black man. The blacks and Asians fighting. The Asians and the Asians and the blacks fighting. Asians want to be white, whites want to be black. It's been a lot of confusion. And what we have to understand is that the reptilians, the powers that be, these different groups to all work together, they want to keep us divided. So the truth is, family, they think that we are retarded. That's what they think. They think that we are retarded and that we are going to keep falling for the same okie doke over and over and over. That's what they think, family. We're going to keep falling for the same okie doke over and over and over. We can't do that. The racism has to stop. And I'm not on here just say it so it could stop. I'm saying that you got to teach your children differently. We know what blacks went through and what people went through in slavery. We know that, right? We know how many American Indians were killed, and then we don't even know how many black American Indians were killed. There's a lot of black, what people consider black, copper color American Indians that were murdered. Actually, all of them was pretty much taken out almost, and they was mixed in with the slaves over here, the few that did come from Africa, if people believe that story. So everything was messed up and mixed up, and then the European, the youngest race on the planet, took over, and they were very destructive. Smart to a certain extent because they learned from the Moors, but they were very destructive in their energy, okay? And there's a lot of chaos going on. China, the Asians were down, a race that was below everybody for a long time. Now they're starting to become a superpower, okay? They shooting their own sun in the sky and stuff like that now. So we have to learn, if we're going to move forward, family, how to get past racism. Right? We have to learn how to get past this thing. Then the first way to get past it, family, we have to learn that it's a part of the plan of the enemy. I got to watch what I say because they've been taking down a lot of people's videos. You know what I'm saying? I don't care. I got to say it anyway. It's a part of the enemy's plan to keep us divided. Divide and conquer. We got to understand that. So when you watch people that's constantly promoting anger, when you watch the so-called black people that's constantly putting up the video of the white boy, shoot, I saw the video one time. It messed me up. I never want to see it again. But there's this one guy out there on Instagram. I ain't going to say his name. He keep playing the video over and over and over and over every day. It's like he's trying to get black people riled up and angry. For what? You send some ancestor money for them people. You pray for them. Whatever you got to do, you move on with your life. You can't stay stuck there because you're feeding the negative forces. You're feeding the draconian energy. You're feeding that energy with the fear and the anger. This is the same thing that black folk fall for over and over and over. We got to stop falling for the okie doke. Right? Come together. That's why I'm building my own. Come together. Right? Build your own. And be smart about how you build your own. Right? Don't discriminate. I know we feel like, we deserve this and we deserve that. But today there's a lot of people that don't look like you that will still support you. I know some people don't want to hear that and they don't believe it, but it's the truth. I got some loyal white folk, some loyal Latino folk, some loyal American Indian folk, and Asian folk in my tribe, in my nation. Okay? Now, usually Europeans can't get into our nation, but we have some people who are married to European people. And that's how they get into our nation. So we're not pushing people away. It is what it is. And the only reason Europeans can't get in because a lot of them can't prove they have American Indian blood. Right? But if you can show you have American Indian blood, which is a process we put people through, then that's how people get into our nation. Right? And I'm not saying I got the biggest, best nation in the world. I'm just saying I'm building quiet. That's how you do it. You don't be out there showing everybody what you're doing, talking crazy, talking stuff about you building a secret. That's what you do. Right? That's what you do. So we have to get past that, family. So those are the four races. Now the fifth race is the star nation that we will go into. That we will all together, we will combine. Even the Egyptians talk about there will be a great mixing bowl in the West. There will be a great mixing bowl in the West. The Egyptians talked about that. Your ancestors talked about that. How in the West, we're going to have a mixing bowl over here. So whether you like it or not, we all going to mix together. And we're going to become one people. Now, part of the so-called New World Order, they want you to become together too, but they want the government to have control over what you do. See, it's always about control. Right? So it's not about let's come together and be pure-hearted and be fun. No, let's come together and you do what I say. And we'll control whether or not you get money and you live. And that's kind of what they want. Dealing with this 2020 agenda, 2030 agenda, right? And for those who don't know, they're actually speeding it up. They just came out on the World Economic Forum and said they're going to accelerate the 2030 agenda. So keep your eyes open, family. Right? The housing market crash and stuff is happening. But I warned y'all about this in 2019. How to prepare yourself for what to come. Right? So this is where we're going next, family. Whether you like it or not, we are all going to become one race. Now, most likely everybody's going to be a colored person, going to look like whether we're brown or light brown, we're all going to come together as one people. And once we do that, it will be very powerful, family. Now, the main thing that will help us do this is the sun, because the sun is emitting new energy frequencies and solar flares and different things like that that is changing our DNA, right? That's one thing that's going to happen. Your DNA is going to change, and everybody's going to start merging. You're going to stop seeing people for color. You know, we pay attention to phenotypes, but we don't pay attention to genotypes. Who are you really? You know what I'm saying? Just because a person don't look, that's the most ignorant thing in the world. And we were taught that. Okay, so I'm not saying love white people tomorrow. I'm not saying to love Chinese people tomorrow. I'm saying that slowly you need to get over that. You know, you need to get over it because you need to heal. We need to heal. We need to be honest with ourselves, and we need to heal, family. We need to come together. And I know some people don't want to come together. They want to fight the power, but you go ahead and fight the power. Right? I'm not discriminating against nobody. I look at a person's spirit and their soul. If you have the type of soul that I can rock with, and you are a genuine person, yo, I can rock with you. Real talk. If you a genuine person, I can rock with you. One of my best friends in the world was a white guy, John, who was trained by Native American Indian shamans and taught me a lot. Right? And he's the one that made me get past, he's the one that made me get past the racism. Right? Because I couldn't believe I used to tell John, say, you the blackest white boy I know. I tell John that all the time, right? So that's what it is, family. So the sun, once again, will help us ascend. The new frequency, the new light codes coming down will activate DNA, the solar flares, different things happening. It will change things in you. Okay? It will change things in you. This is something they can't stop, whether they like it or not. Now, as we change and transform, family, we will join something called the Confederation of Planets. Right? Everybody heard about the Galactic Council and different things like that, but a lot of people never heard of something called the Confederation of Planets. The Confederation of Planets is a group of planets that deal with a certain class level civilization, right? It's about taking your civilization to a certain level so you can ascend to the next level, right? So there's classes and confederations and federations for different groups depending on what type of planet you have. So the type of planet that we have coming out of our ignorance, joining as one people, we're going to slowly go into what you call the Confederation of Planets, right? Now, the Confederation of Planets consists of the Council of Nine, which actually is really the Council of Five now. They used to be called the Council of Nine. They're the Council of Five now. And I talked about that in my Patreon. Also, the Council of 12. We're going to be dealing with those groups, right? And we're going to become part of what people call Agartha, right? Now, Agartha right now, their stronghold is on the inner earth. Okay, it's on the inner earth. And they're actually part of the Nubaru people. They're part of the Nubaru people. But Agartha is on the inner earth. And right now, family, as we ascend, they're going to be coming from the middle earth, and they're going to be teaching us new things, and we're going to be dealing with different things like that. It's a lot of immortals also that live in Agartha, immortal societies that live in Agartha. So we're going to be intertwining with these people. We're not even going to know when they come to the surface. You're just going to start noticing people look different, and people tend to be more spiritual. Right? So we're going to start interfacing, and this is something that the government ain't going to have no control over. They're going to start losing power. They actually already lost. It's over with already. But human beings, in our ignorance, we have to slowly come into a new phase of reality. You can't do it tomorrow, right? So we're going to start interfacing with a group called Agartha, family, all right? Now, this will take us to us dealing with the fourth dimensional frequency, which is the only reason why they're going to be able to come to the surface, because the frequency of the planet is changing, dealing with the new energy that the sun is bringing down, okay? So Agartha will come to the surface, right? And we will then join the Confederation of Planets, and the whole system on the planet will change, family. All right, that's where we're going next, okay? There's no date on this, but I'm giving you guys an overview, so when this stuff start happening, you start to see it. I'm not saying I'm right about everything. I would never claim to be a person that knows it all, right? But if you guys have been on my channel for a long time, you guys see a lot of things I've been saying been coming to pass. I talked about universal basic income back in 2018, 2019, before anybody was talking about it. And now y'all see they talking more and more about universal basic income. The government giving you money. So just pay attention and keep your eyes open and look around, because stuff is slowly changing in front of your eye. Before you know it, it's been unchanged. The whole thing done changed, right? So we got to keep our eyes open, family. Now, to move forward deeper, as we ascend deeper into the fourth dimension, right? And the frequency changes on the planet. we start to activate our light bodies, right, we will actually start to join something called the Confederation of Stars, right? And Confederation of Stars is their seat of their power sits in Orion. Okay, the Confederation of Stars, the seat of their power sits in Orion, dealing with the Orion constellation and stuff like that. And in Orion, the majority of the beings are light beings. You do have some draconians there, some grays, some other groups, but those are light beings, right? Those are, the pyramids in Egypt point to Orion, the Orion constellation. So we're going to join the Confederation of Stars. Stars also mean astral, right? Astral, right? So that's going to get us ready to ascend to what people consider the fifth dimension, right? So people can ascend to whatever dimension they want, but the planet, we're talking about the planet, family. The planet will slowly ascend to the next dimension. This is a teaching that the great Dr. Blair, who I'm always talking about, has said for many years, that the planet is going from the third dimension to the fifth dimension. I can go back and watch his videos. I had the opportunity of meeting him in 2012, able to ask him a ton of questions, man. And once again, in my face, he told me, yeah, the planet is ascending to the fifth dimension. And the elder was right. He was 100% right. So whether people like what I'm saying or not, Mother Earth will ascend to the fifth dimension. And at that point, we will be considered a real planet, because they don't take us serious right now. We're just a very ignorant, low vibrational people to them right now. The groups of the Galactic Federation, they're like our parents, right? Or the Galactic Council, they're like our parents. And they kind of oversee us to make sure that nobody interferes with our evolution, right? But slowly new things are going to be implemented so we can start to grow and move forward. All right, enough of the suffering, right? But like I said, the earth will split and some people will be left in a lower frequency, because you can't get past that black folk got shot. I love my people, but at the same time, I don't stay focused on, oh, another black man got shot. It's been happening. Black people been getting killed for a long time, right? The best thing we can do as spiritual people, send some vibrations and love to that family, help that person ascend, and move on to the next thing. You can't stay focused on that energy, family. This is not the time, because your heart got to be right. It is so important to get your heart right, right? It was also representing getting your mind right. Negative people, you have to just get away from them. Friends, family, whoever keeping you down, it's just going to be time to get away from family. It's time to ascend to the next level, right? Get your heart right. Start listening to more high vibrational frequency music, right? Stop being so negative, right? Start caring and having empathy and compassion for people. Learn to be more compassionate, right? That's looked at as something silly, but it's something that's necessary to ascend, right? That's what it is, family. We have to get on those vibrations, all right? So as we ascend, family, and we get to those levels, that's what's going to kind of happen as we move forward over this time. So I want to talk about the 4 root races, which I did, and I broke that down for you guys. And we will ascend to the 5th race, which will be a race that we would start dealing with the star nations, okay, which will become one group of people. Believe it or not, there's an experiment going on Earth, and we are all being experimented on through vaccinations and different things to become a different type of species so we can live in the next dimension. Now, you may not see it, but your grandchildren will definitely see it. And what's going to happen is it's going to slowly happen over time, family. So don't be so in a rush to see, people ask me all the time, what we got, the 5th dimension, like another 25 years? No, we didn't send to the 5th dimension for a long time, family. But, and you may not even be here to live to see it, but I guarantee if you live for the next 30 years, 20, 30 years, you will see us interacting with extraterrestrials and somewhere in between. It's going to happen, family, right? It's going to happen. I don't know when, but it's going to happen sometime. And I've been saying that on my channels for the longest, that, so as we do this, fam, we get to those levels, you're going to start to see the world change. Great change is happening as we speak. This is an exciting time to be alive. I know it seems chaotic and crazy and dangerous, but stay on a high vibration and you're not even going to be affected by that stuff. All right? You're not going to be affected by that stuff. That situation happened not too far from me. Not too far from me. Right? So I'm about, an hour away from where that situation happened up here in upstate New York. So we got to be smart, family. We got to stay on a high vibration and not allow, these low frequencies to get us. So I have I'm over my own family tribe. I'm also over a nation, and I have to watch the news every day. I have to know what's going on the planet. so I can make the best decisions in my life, right? It's not always easy to watch the news and negative stuff on the planet, but it's necessary, right? So I watch it, but I don't pay attention to it. I don't give it attention. I know what's going on. Time to go, all right, I know how I got to move on the chessboard now. That's how it goes, family. So let's come together. Let's stop hating each other so we can all get, the quicker we come together and we stop allowing these forces, the powers that be, to manipulate us. Like black folk, we keep falling for the okie doke over and over and over. They killed one of us. Now you have a right to be sad. Don't get BroYosef words twisted. When somebody, if that was my family, I'd be sad and hurt too. But I won't stay stuck. During this whole Rona thing that happened, you know, I lost a lot of family members. But at the same time, life goes on, right? It's times I wish my teacher was here with me. My teacher, Ema, I wish he could see, you know, what's happening and what I'm building and where we're going. I wish he could see, but he's not here. I don't got time to focus on what could have been and I wish this was happening. No, where am I going next? And that's how y'all got to have y'all mindset for the sake of your children, your nieces and nephews, anybody that want to walk with you on this path, right? Especially if you're a family man, you can't sit here and be moping about the past. You got to move forward, right? So God bless the dead. God bless these 10 people that lost their life. I'm sympathetic towards it. My heart was broken when I heard that a 80-something-year-old lady was shot dead in a parking lot. But I can't stay stuck on that. We got to move forward, and this is nothing but another attempt to keep us separated, to make us hate white folk. White folk hate us. Asian people don't like black people because black people beating up Asian. This is all part of the plan to keep us separated, so we can't move forward the way we want. All right. So I just want to get in here and get that off my chest, right? And talk about where we going next and the rise of the Star Nations, because that's what's coming next. And we'll get more into the Star Nations later. But I want to get in here and say this, family, and you know, just talk about this because we live in some interesting times, family. Some interesting times. Also, family, you know, I hope to see some of you guys at the lecture we have coming up in Atlanta. Hope to see you guys there. For the people that's going to make it, it'll be so dope to see you guys there. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to drop some really, really deep information to make you guys think and ponder on some things. I'm going to give you guys some new spiritual tools that you never heard of before at this lecture. And it's going to be a good time. So if you can get you a ticket, the link will be below the video to grab yourself a ticket. Come on through, family. I'll be happy to see you guys. Usually at some of my lectures, I see the same people, and I'm glad to see. I got one group of young kids that come all the way from California every time. They drive all the way from California, no matter where I'm at, right? So I'm grateful for the love, the support. I know you guys want to see me on here more, and I'm gonna try my best to be on here more, YouTube more. But I'm always gonna be on here when I got some deep stuff to say. But if you guys want to see me more, come to my Patreon. My Patreon will be there. I'm actually going to be telling a real dope story tonight on my Patreon. So that's what it is, family. Look, BroYosef, love y'all. I appreciate you guys. And I want you guys to start thinking more on an indigenous frequency, because that's what we got to go back to. We got to go back to the old ways to take us forward, right? Because they knew the real star knowledge. They knew the real spiritual information that was that could connect Mother Earth to the spirit realm and connect us with it, right? So that's what BroYosef into heavy was, the shamanistic information, and taking it to the next level and talking to you guys about this. You know, when you start studying this extraterrestrial stuff, don't get caught up so much in the New Age stuff, right? Because it's a lot of talk about New Age stuff, and it's a lot of lies out there, right? It's a lot like the Ashtar Command, and I'm not saying the Ashtar Command don't exist, but it don't exist the way you think, right? It don't, and that's another racist plot. In this, they're trying to make the New Age movement the new religion, and I don't like that. I see that thing coming, and I can see it from a mile away, and a lot of people get caught up into that. And if it wasn't racist, then how come all the people that's here to save us is all white people? Where it ain't no black people nowhere? Like, I don't understand. You know what I mean? So the Ashtar Command, I'm not saying that they don't exist. I'm just saying that they don't look like and they don't operate in the way you think. Okay, and we'll do another video on that in the future. If people know what the Ashtar Command is, right? But yeah, y'all know I've been heavy on the Anunnaki, and it's time to talk about some other groups and take this thing a little further, family. So yeah, I appreciate you guys for being on here. Links will be below the video. Hope to see you guys in Atlanta. It's Brother Yosef. Holler at you guys next video. Peace, family.